Xeno Gogeta. Xeno Gogeta is an incarnation of Gogeta from a world separate to the main timeline. He is the result of Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta performing the fusion dance and a member of the Time Patrol. Appearance. Xeno Gogeta's appearance is extremely similar to that of his various counterparts. He wears typical Metamoran garb, including a black vest with yellow padding and a teal belt, as well as black pants, blue wristbands, and a black sleeveless shirt covering his torso. Personality. Xeno Gogeta's personality is identical to that of his primary counterpart, retaining a deadly mixture of seriousness and confidence. Like Vegeta, he has a tendency to mock his foes before demonstrating superiority. Biography. Background. Before Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta became Time Patrollers, they had experienced the events of Dragon Ball Z, Fusion Reborn and Dragon Ball GT as well as the fight with the Shadow Dragons. Thus, GT's incarnation of Gogeta was present to fight and overpower Omega Shenron. Dragon Ball Heroes. Dark Empire Saga. In the manga, Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta confront Demon God Shroom in Hell, but are heavily damaged by his soul-reaping ability. To even the odds, they fuse into Xeno Gogeta, who, using Super Saiyan, is able to fight an even battle with Shroom. As their fusion time limit runs out, Xeno Vegeta holds off Shroom from exiting through a portal to the Demon Realm while Xeno Goku breaks off to enter the portal himself. Later, when the Time Patrol launch their final attack in the Demon Realm in order to stop Mechikabura from getting his wish granted, with Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta running low on energy, the two fuse once again into Xeno Gogeta, now Super Saiyan 4, who delivers a harsh kick to Gravy and battles him before all of the Time Patrol are suddenly teleported back to the Time Nest. Dark King Mechikabura Saga. During the Dark King Mechikabura saga, Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta fuse once again after traveling to age 790 to a version of the Shadow Dragon saga, where that timeline's Gogeta is fighting and dominating Omega Shenron, with the timeline now altered by the arrival of both the Dark Empire and the Time Patrol. The timeline's Gogeta is confronted by Finn, and curious about the Magent's power allows him to absorb him, becoming Dark Gogeta. Unfortunately for Finn, GT Gogeta rapidly takes control of the absorption. Xeno Gogeta is instructed to acquire the Dragon Balls from Omega Shenron, but his counterpart ends up obliterating Omega instead. That Gogeta, not entirely sure what was going on but noticing his Xeno counterpart, decides to test himself and Finn by engaging Xeno Gogeta in combat. Dark Gogeta has an edge over his Xeno counterpart, but the Super Saiyan 4 fusion's fight is interrupted by Xeno Gohan, who also attains Super Saiyan 4, and teams up with Xeno Gogeta to unleash a powerful combination on Dark Gogeta, sending him crashing to the ground. Gohan is astounded to see the Majin stand back up, but is stopped by Xeno Gogeta, who wonders if his present self had finally woken up, leading to an upper portion of Dark Gogeta's face peeling off and revealing the timeline's Gogeta in complete control underneath. He apologizes for the misunderstanding, expressing his interest to go head-to-head with himself, something that Xeno Gogeta completely understands and Xeno Gohan doesn't get at all. The timeline's Gogeta blasts Finn off his back, snarking that he isn't so weak as to get absorbed by the likes of the Majin, a statement that makes Finn furious. When the mind-controlled Kranoa appears and freezes everyone in place, Chamel uses his magic to teleport the Time Patrol and their allies to Demigra's lair, by which time Xeno Gogeta has defused, presumably leaving the alternate Gogeta in his altered timeline. New Spacetime War Saga. Xeno Gogeta returns in Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker alongside his blue evolved counterpart, prepared to confront the young Fu. The combined forces of the two fused fighters pressures Fu into powering up further, achieving his dual-winged Dark King form to instantaneously defuse the two with a blast of darkness. Before the defused pairs of Goku and Vegeta can get their bearings, Fu quickly sucks the Vegetas into a dark vortex to prevent any more fusion from occurring, but the Gokus receive support from Kranoa. Fu is later overcome and annihilated by Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Universe Tree Power, Goku. In the manga, however, Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta end up confronting the one-winged Fu on their own. Despite Fu having frozen them in time, the two are able to speak and decide upon using the fusion dance, as Xeno Vegeta is completely against dying to a time-stopping ability. Humored, but extremely intrigued at the idea of fighting Xeno Gogeta, Fu allows the two Time Patrollers to fuse, threatening to freeze them again if they don't comply. Without much choice, Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta combine into Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Gogeta. Immediately after Xeno Gogeta appears, Fu attempts to freeze him anyway, but the fusion appears behind him to bonk him on the head, telling him off for cheating and leaving Fu astounded that he was able to get behind him without making a sound. Xeno Gogeta remarks that his previous form looked a little more dignified. Fu swipes at him, but Xeno Gogeta dodges. He wonders aloud what he should do with the scientist, since he's not excited about tormenting a kid, but remarks that it would still be a pain if he defused, so he blasts at Fu in an attempt to simply knock him out. Xeno Gogeta is then disgusted when Fu uses Mechikabura's disembodied hand to block the attack. Fu summons Mechikabura's other hand to attack him, but the fusion swivels on the spot to backhand it and shatter it to pieces. Fu then dashes through the rubble to catch Xeno Gogeta with a time freeze, but Xeno Gogeta smirks through the time fractal and transforms into Super Full Power Saiyan for Limit Breaker. Fu is completely astonished that Xeno Gogeta was able to evolve further from the fusion, noting that there was no data of power like his in any other timeline, and is furthermore shocked that despite his time freeze being incomplete, a mortal such as Xeno Gogeta was able to undo it. Xeno Gogeta overcomes another time freeze attempt, worrying that it won't work on him anymore. Fu, attempting to block Xeno Gogeta's next attack with another Mechikabura hand, realizes that Xeno Gogeta opened a space-time hole by enlarging his energy alone, and that he actually destroyed the time that was affecting him. Exclaiming that Scions truly are amazing, his Mechikabura hand is shattered. Fu grins, declares that Xeno Gogeta has surpassed human reason, and Xeno Gogeta, grinning back, retorts that he told Fu his time freeze wouldn't work anymore. Luckily for Fu, he was able to move time forward to use up Xeno Gogeta's fusion time limit, causing the two to defuse back into Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta. Before Fu can continue the fight, he is interrupted by the booming voice of the pseudo-universe's Shinran, declaring that a wish has been granted. Supreme Kai of Time Saga. Xeno Gogeta reappears in the Time Nest to save Goku from a blast from transcended demon god Xeno Omega Shinran. Using Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker, he humiliates the Shadow Dragon in the same manner as he did during the Shadow Dragon Saga, such as using Ultimate Impact and making jokes about Xeno Omega's blasts being little more than a back massage to him. Eventually, Xeno Omega is once again goaded into using his Extreme Minus Energy Power Ball, but Xeno Gogeta overwhelms him easily with a Big Bang Kamehameha, utterly annihilating him and making up for failing to do so during GT. He then joins Goku and Aeos in the battle against Demigra and his posse. Demigra quickly has Broly, also using Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker but further empowered by evil energy, fight Xeno Gogeta while he attends to the other heroes. The fight between Xeno Gogeta and Broly is reminiscent of that of their counterparts. Broly charges in first, but the fusion easily dodges his punch and retaliates by knocking him through the ground. After a fierce fistfight, Xeno Gogeta finally takes a hit but trades it for a rising vortex to Broly's face, sending both fighters backward. When Broly launches a dual trap shooter at him, Xeno Gogeta responds with Stardust Rising, cancelling out Broly's attack and angering the legendary Super Saiyan, while Xeno Gogeta simply grins at him. In the manga, after Xeno Vegeta finishes off Dr. Wheelo, he senses Demigra's presence from the other side, sparking his and Xeno Goku's interest. Fusing into Xeno Gogeta, they begin tearing through dimensions in order to reach the selection realm before decking Xeno Omega with a punch to the face. Like in the anime, Xeno Gogeta mirrors most of the GT banter with Xeno Omega, overpowering him even after Demigra grants Xeno Omega a transcended demon god form via the Dark Factor. Despite facing a barrage of Extreme Minus Energy Powerballs from the demented Shadow Dragon, Xeno Gogeta's Big Bang Kamehameha eventually obliterates him once again. Afterwards, Xeno Gogeta challenges Demigra, who expresses confidence that he should be able to beat the fusion, but is too concerned that the Dark Factor hasn't fully resonated with his body, and so resorts to having Dark Broly fight Xeno Gogeta instead. The fight between Xeno Gogeta and Dark Broly in the manga is equally ferocious as in the anime, with both fighters trading powerful blows, though Xeno Gogeta continues to display a noticeable advantage. Xeno Gogeta then becomes worried about his fusion timer running out, but Aeos uses her powers as a Supreme Kai of Time to cancel the effects of time on the fusion fighter, allowing him to use his full power for 10 minutes. Thankful for the opportunity, Xeno Gogeta launches a supermassive blast at a noticeably shocked Broly, who is engulfed by the blast and barely manages to stand afterwards. Power. Manga. As a Super Saiyan, Xeno Gogeta is shown to fight on even terms with the demon god Shroom, who had previously defeated Xeno Janemba. As a Super Saiyan 4, he is able to severely damage Demon God Gravy with a single kick to the abdomen, though not defeating him immediately. When he and his alternate self, absorbed by Finn, clash, Xeno Gogeta is at a slight disadvantage. Against the Fu, who has absorbed Doji, Xeno Gogeta is able to surpass him as a Super Saiyan 4, easily maneuvering around him and landing attacks with ease, even just with the intent to knock out rather than outright eliminate the scientist. Upon having to deal with Fu's time freeze, however, Xeno Gogeta uses Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker, granting him the strength to undo and easily shatter through time freeze with his raw energy alone. Despite being unfused by Fu's time acceleration in the end, Fu notes that he had no historical data of this further power beyond fusion, and that breaking his time freeze should have been impossible for a mortal. During the Supreme Kai of Time saga, Xeno Gogeta's power has grown to the point where he can easily break through dimensions on his own. he easily outmatches and destroys transcended demon god Xeno Omega Shinran, and while Dark King Demigra is confident he could beat Xeno Gogeta, he allows Broly to fight him instead as he is worried his Dark King abilities have not stabilized within his body. Xeno Gogeta fights an even limit breaker battle with Broly, appearing to hold back due to his fusion time limit, though when Aeos cancels the effects of time on him, Xeno Gogeta's full power instantly outclasses Broly. Anime. Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Xeno Gogeta, alongside his blue evolved counterpart, are able to pressure Fu, who has absorbed Doji. However, once Fu takes on the complete version of this state, their fusions are undone with a single energy wave. Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Xeno Gogeta is able to completely dominate and easily obliterate transcended demon god Xeno Omega Shinran, whose air pressure sent Goku and Aeos flying. Against Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Broly, who was empowered by evil energy granted by Dark King Demigra, Xeno Gogeta holds a clear advantage, only trading attacks with the Berserker once and outmatching him in all other exchanges. Abilities. Super Saiyan. Like his main counterpart and his fusees, Xeno Gogeta is capable of transforming into Super Saiyan, gaining the form's trademark fiery golden hair and teal eyes, as well as an intense yellow aura. In the manga, Xeno Gogeta battled Shroom on equal grounds utilizing this form. In the game, Xeno Gogeta immediately entered the form upon a successful fusion and prepared to fight evil demon Xeno Janemba. Super Saiyan 4. Like his main counterpart and his fusees, Xeno Gogeta is also capable of transforming into a Super Saiyan 4. In this transformation, Xeno Gogeta closely resembles his main counterpart's appearance. Like Gogeta, he has distinctly unique blue eyes, reddish-brown fur and fiery crimson hair, as opposed to most users of Super Saiyan 4. Xeno Gogeta first displayed the form when fighting against demon gods Gravy and Putin in the manga, and Xeno Dabura in the game. In World Mission, Xeno Gogeta also utilizes this transformation alongside Super Saiyan Blue Beat against Sealos, fused, in their final battle. Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker. Much like his fusees and his Pod Era counterpart, Xeno Gogeta is capable of taking on the Limit Broken enhancement of Super Full Power Saiyan 4. In his initial Limit Breaker appearance, Xeno Gogeta possessed a considerably more yellowish complexion and paler fur with purple shades. Additionally, his hair color becomes a pseudo-orange Persian red with darker shades and lengthens considerably. Finally, he acquires a skin-tight white aura engulfed in the primary purplish-red aura that is standard of the Limit Breaker form. Later appearances in the form depict him to be more similar to other Limit Breaker users, with less yellowish skin. Additionally, though the back of his hair remains lengthened, the front more closely resembles his standard Super Saiyan 4 look. In this form, Xeno Gogeta accumulates an absurd level of ki. In the anime version of the new Spacetime War saga, Xeno Gogeta first uses this transformation alongside his evolved main timeline counterpart to battle against Fu, while in the manga he confronts him alone. Unlike other Saiyan transformations, the Limit Breaker form appears to have close to minimal effect on Xeno Gogeta's fusion time limit, as when forcibly defused by Fu's time acceleration, Xeno Goku notes that they should have had more than enough time and energy to win. Super Saiyan 3. Like his main counterpart and his fusees, Xeno Gogeta is also capable of transforming into a Super Saiyan 3. In this form, his hair reaches down to his thighs along with keeping his bang, and his eyebrows vanish completely while making the forehead and eye ridges larger and more prominent. His muscle mass grows noticeable larger, more defined, while his eyes gain green irises. Much akin to Goku's appearance in Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 4 Kaioken. Xeno Gogeta is also capable of further advancing Super Saiyan 4's power through the use of the Kaioken technique. When using Super Saiyan 4 Kaioken, Xeno Gogeta's hair flares into a bright orange color. His Super Saiyan aura becomes noticeably brighter and more flame-like, resembling a Super Saiyan blue aura in shape, while enveloped by the crimson, jagged Kaioken aura. Although the multiplier for his use of the technique was not established, Xeno Gogeta becomes exceedingly more powerful in this form. In the game, Xeno Gogeta first wields the form in his Seacount bout against an enhanced demon god Shroom. If you want to support me, check out my Patreon at https://www.patreon.com/Kaioshin. I tend to polls that decide important plot stuff in my P at Trian. Many thanks to my awesome patrons. Ben Phillips.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.